What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to 3-Star Draw. I'm down south 77, 3-Star, 3SD, DS77. I get called a lot of names these days. That's all right. I'm fine with most of them. This here is an adult collector channel where we like to talk about G.I. Joe, usually classified, and every now and then we'll take a look at some other stuff I like as well. I've got a few cornucopia shelves that I try to keep a little mishmash of other stuff that I like on, and I'll do a video on things like that when I get it in too, like Jada Street Fighters or the few Marvel Legends that I pick up, things like that. However, those cornucopia shelves are kind of starting to intermingle with Joe's because I'm running out of room in here. There's always a big drought in Joe's, but man, when they send it, they do a full send, don't they? So I've got to do some rearranging. I have a rattler coming sometime. There's nowhere in this room right now to put a rattler. I will do my video or videos on it, and if I don't have something done in here by then, it's going to have to sit on the living room table. So we'll have to cross that bridge when I come to it. But today we're talking about the last figure in the newest wave that I need to round out the assortment, and that is number 156. That is Footloose. He seems like he was the dial tone of this wave. Seems like he was the hardest to get figure in this wave. At least that's how it seems to me. I know some people got him like first. He was one of the first figures that they found in this wave. Like he and I think Blowtorch, some people were finding together. He was nowhere around here. And I got him on Friday. I'm just now getting a chance to open him up. But he was delivered from Pulse, so they did send this to me. And I think the only ones I actually got from Pulse was like one of my other Frag Vipers, because everybody else shipped them first. So whatever, anyway, he's here now. He's not hard to get anymore. We're going to get him out, take a look at him. Footloose was a character that I was always kind of impartial on. I had him, I did play with him. Footloose was always kind of boring to me. He was boring even in the cartoon to me. Now, I didn't dislike him. He was just kind of meh. But for a more of a standard issue, like he was the new Grunt when he came out. I always felt like Footloose replaced Grunt as far as being that go-to, more true military feel kind of figure at a time when we were starting to get some figures in the line that were kind of straying outside the norm. You know, when he come out, we were starting to get a couple here and there. Anyway, I do like him. I'm excited to have him in my collection, and I'm excited to get him out and look at him. So we're getting ready to do that now. I got something I want to ask you guys. I've got a new setup that I'm gonna try out for the actual review part. I'm going to try an overhead camera view. I bought a rig to set up an overham. That's for Easter. An overhead camera view looking down. I want to try that. I didn't realize till I got it set up and was testing it out that it takes away one of my favorite things, which is setting up stuff in the background behind it. I've done that ever since I've been doing videos, and I really enjoy doing that. But this way is a little more comfortable. I can get closer to the table because I'm not sitting behind a tripod and a ring light and always constantly bumping into the camera. So I want to try it, see how this works out. We're going to test it out with Footloose, but I do want you guys to let me know in the comments if you like the overhead view, or if you like it from the front. Let me know. I'd like to know. You have a preference? Do you just listen when I do these? Whatever. Just let me know what you think. I may be able to work something out where I can do a combination of both. So we'll see how this one turns out. Anyway, there's your disclaimer. in case you usually skip this part and you get to the video, to the review part, and you're like, wait, this looks different. All right, disclaimer over. Let's look at Footloose. Okay, don't worry, this is weird for me too. All right, we're going to get a look at the box here, and this thing does have a very massive light that comes with it. I'll turn on in just a minute, just like the old days when we used to do it. Check him out in the package there. Flip him over this way. You got this nice portrait of him throwing up the peace sign 156 at the bottom. Back here on the back, this nice picture of him holding his law. They got some smoking wreckage over there of a tank. Then of course we have a Mobat coming over the hill. It's probably about to run Dusty over. I don't know. Get his patch here. Got the tampo on his law. Got your mumbo jumbo down here. And then over here on the other side, your QR code that still goes to nowhere. I tested it last night on this very box, and all his attributes there that we still don't really have a very accessible key for. So top, that's a good way to show the top of the box and the bottom of the box. All right, you know how much everybody loves looking at the box, so let's get on with it. This is how he is packaged in the tray. See all of his accessories in there. Got some tape on the knife and some tape on the M16 here, tape on his rocket and his pistol. This is the part that's a little bit weird for me, and excuse my mouse over here in the corner. I hadn't figured out a good place to get the mouse out of the view of this yet. So, all right, let's get a look at the bazooka here. And look, I do have those same angled tweezer things that everybody else uses. I just always forget to bring them over here. So we got his law rocket down here. It's already extended out, right? So normally on a law, this pops backward. Press this, it pops backward, but when it's folded up, this cap is meant to flip up and cover the back of it. And this is just a basic black, straps the same color. They did a good job with the shark teeth tampo on it, I think. Of course, you do have where the rocket will fit into it. So, looks pretty good, I think. They did a pretty good job getting that on there. No problem with that. It does, other than that, it looks really basic, though, to me. I thought this was going to be bigger on here. Like, they had plenty of room. They could have made that bigger. Back to here, I don't know. So here's the round that it comes with. It's green and black. A little bit of sculpting there. Got a couple dots on there. It kind of looks like every RPG missile that we looked at when we were kids in a movie. And it actually does go in. Props for that. It goes in. It's not falling out. That's something that I wish they had done with some other characters that have features like this, is make that to where it stays in there and doesn't fall out, like heavy duty, heavy metal characters like that. Had to bring that down just a little bit there. It was getting way too far up to show stuff off. Okay, that's better. It does come with this pistol here, kind of your basic black, not really. I mean, it's got some detail to it. I'm sure we've seen this pistol, honestly. I don't even know anymore on these pistols, unless they're just something really, really exotic. No color on the grips for it. So, just about as basic as an automatic mid-size pistol can get. We have a knife, got some silver on the blade. You can open bottle caps back there on the back of it. No serration or anything, just a pretty standard issue knife. It does have the M16 that we've come to know and love. I do like this weapon. This is one of the best weapons in the line. A little bit gummy there, mostly the stock, where this support is so small, so thin. The stock's a little bit gummy on this thing. We've seen this. I think it really looks the best with mutt, with that green on it. But good look at the backpack here, all green. It's kind of this, I don't know I don't think it's really like OD green. It's more like a greenish tan. It's kind of hard to tell. It seems like it's more of a brown, but no paint on it. A couple canopies, bedroll at the bottom. I think we've seen the backpack too, guys. I don't keep up with the reuse. It's way too much to keep up with at this point on what's reused on this stuff. Then we come to his helmet. This has been a point of contention for a lot of people on this Footloose figure, because we all love the old school Footloose helmet, right? We all, with the leaves and stuff on it. So you do have this modern helmet, got all the built-in ear protection, got your straps going around, this padding here, and this isn't a brown. Back here in the back, going all the way around, and then on top, you do have the camo netting. You do have the leaves, although there is a term for what this is. It's kind of like what's in a ghillie suit. I can't think of it. Somebody will know and put it down in the comments. But the update for the helmet, people really like it or really hate it. I just like that they did actually keep it and do something with it. Would have been nice if they threw some different colors in here. Looks like, I know it's off camera, I'm trying to look at it up close, getting used to this new light. Doesn't look like there's really any different colors in there. Maybe a little bit of darker green on there. But I know the original had those sculpted in leaves that we all liked. That he had one of the best helmets. And then the other thing about the helmet people are really not liking is that the NVGs, the night vision goggles here, they don't flip down and you can't remove them. They're fixed. So people are not liking that. Personally, I don't mind it because I'm probably not going to use them, and every figure I have that has these removable, every Hasbro figure, they just they pop off. They fall off. And matter of fact, my Wolf Spider figure I got from Hasbro without the little plug. It was missing the plug, so I can't even put the night vision goggles on that figure. So that was kind of a bummer, but I'm not a fan of these. I mean, I like the idea of them, but in functionality, unless you've got a company that engineers the helmets that actually have them where they'll flip up and down, I say fix them, because that's less to lose. I have changed the camera view a couple times during this, so apologize. I'm still just trying to figure out how to do this with the top-down view. So get a look at him here. Very nice looking camo on this guy. Footloose had some of the better camo in the Real American Hero line, I feel like. So let's go ahead and check out some articulation here. T-pose. Pretty good in that department there. Does have the bicep swivel. Of course, your pinless double jointed elbows. And knees, same. No issues with any of the movement on the joints there. Got your thigh cut. And then does have a boot cut at the bottom underneath the bottom of the cuffs, and he does have the jump boots, the jungle boots there. I do like those. That was somebody else pointed that out a couple of times. I like that as well. So just get a look at him overall. Paint on the face looks really good. Don't really have any issues. See anything not lined up anywhere there. I got the hair sculpted a little bit. Doesn't really look like there's a whole lot of wash or anything in it. It's kind of a brownish, kind of like a brownish red. Then of course he's got the stash. Everybody talks about this guy looking like Pedro Pascal. What do you think? He does look like Pedro Pascal. However, I will say I don't think he looks as much like him in hand as I did in the pictures. But I still definitely do see the resemblance. Nice camo on the sleeves, rolled up, pushed up sleeves here. And then there is the unit patch insignia, got the clover. The patch here on this sleeve. And over here you do have US flag tampo going the right way. Another pouch here, rolled up sleeves. Does have this overlay on him, and his belt is not connected. So the belt, actually, you could take that off if you wanted to. You don't have to cut it or take the figure apart. That's not something I do. That's not my specialty. You got the sheath for his knife right here. Got a couple of pouches here on the front, mag pouches over here, looks like. Really well done vest. Again, I can't keep up with all of the reuse, so I'm not 100% sure if he shares this vest with anybody. But when they repaint it and then they paint it and match paint that's on the figures, you know, they really do a good job of kind of hiding what you've seen it on before. So up here you got a black grenade, possibly smoke, flashbang, whatever, who knows. Then open shirt, he's not wearing any kind of undershirt here. See down there. Also apparently waxes his chest, so that's okay if that's your thing. Waist belt has this mag on the back that I thought was weird. That's sculpted in. That mag's not removable. And he does have these packs back here with the cross on them, so I'm guessing these are some kind of medical kit packs. Maybe that's a adrenaline shot, or who knows what that could be, but it looks like it is some sort of first aid kit. Then you got his holster back here in the back for his sidearm, going down to the pants. Got some pretty decent sculpting on the pants. I love the camo. You got the texture here where these are utility style military BDU pants. Pouches over here, goes all the way down to the boots. You got your paint on the boots that matches the lighter camo, so props for making all of that match. And then he does have the padding on the thighs. This was something when we saw this figure originally really stood out. I didn't like it because it looked goofy. You know, this is a real world thing where if you have to get down in a shooting position or you have to do a lot of crawling or whatnot, the knees in this area are reinforced. It's a lot more muted here than it was when we originally saw it, and it does blend in well with the camo, even though it breaks it up, but it's not nearly as noticeable in person as it is in the pictures. And that's about all there is to this guy. He doesn't have any tattoos or anything, which is funny. I did my Crystal Ball review, and Crystal Ball has tattoos, and I didn't realize till I did it that I didn't show off his tattoos. So let's check out how he stands here. Pretty good. Ankles seem pretty solid. It's always one of my concerns is the ankles on these guys, so no issue on that. Seems to be standing pretty well. Throw his pistol in his hand. Plastic on the hands on this guy is kind of soft. They seem to be having a hard time getting the plastic on the hands right. It's either too soft, too hard. But that one was not too bad. Trigger fingers through there. So let's see. I'm gonna cut. Oh, wrong way. Wrong button. New setup. There. A little bit of glare, a little more glare on the figure than I want. So hard to get this figured out, but we'll get there. So there he is with his pistol. Put this back here. Goes in there nicely. Don't feel like it's going to fall out. Fits in there pretty snugly. Let's see. Let's go ahead. Put his knife in his sheath. These upside down sheaths on these knives, sometimes they don't like to stay in there. I know shockwaves for me is real bad about falling out. Check out how he can hold this M16. A little more work getting the trigger finger through there on this one than with the pistol. So butterfly joints, they're there. They work pretty good to the back, but like all of these guys with these overlays, you do have very limited range of motion in the front with them. Getting them to cross over for a two-handed shooting pose. So his is not too bad as far as what you can do. A little more work with it, you can get that shouldered a little better. Not too bad. And the hand is pliable, so I don't feel like on some of the figures, bending it to get around the stock of this, I don't feel like it's going to be that big of an issue. And he does have the paracord bracelet over here on his right arm, spins around on his wrist, and then over here on his left, he does have a watch. Looks like that's reading 1900, I believe. I don't know if it's showing up. So 7 o'clock somewhere, that's what's on it. I don't know if that showed up on camera or not. So let's check out his backpack. No overlay to have to go through with the backpack, just straight in. And that's about as far in as that's going to go. It feels good though. It doesn't feel like it's going to fall off here. Now that may change over time, but I just, the back peg on a lot of these guys is way too high. It should be like right here if you're going to have a backpack that doesn't have a lot of curve to it, like this one. But I would feel like I could put this guy on the shelf with the backpack on and get him balanced pretty well. A lot of the backpacks fit so wonky, it's just not happening. So get him carrying his law. Now I know my buddy Crusty Old Crow had an issue with the law, not really so much the law itself, but the fact that he wishes that we could have got one with it open, or I'm sorry, one with it closed, give us two, or give this one away to do that, make it more functional. And you can get it over there. It's kind of crazy on that overlay. It's like pulling on his neck. That would not be comfortable toting that thing that way. So I just wanted to see if that could be done, and it can. His neck ball is the same color as some of the other plastic on his pants. That's interesting. Can't really look up, look down. That's about all you get on there. So no handle or anything on this rocket launcher. So he's not really able to grip this thing very well, it doesn't look like. So you have to get the elbow bent, and see, he should have some way to, something to hold on to up here. The buttons for it are sculpted in, like the launch button and button and everything to extend it out, but he's really got no good way of holding it, and it's not really so much a two-handed weapon. I mean, you're probably gonna want to get a hold on it like this. It's really awkward to get him to hold this thing in a way that looks believable that he's firing it. Like, you can't really do much with two hands. You're going to have to rely on this hand holding it in. So that just don't look right. But, you know, I wish there was a handle or something. I know they're trying to stay realistic, or at least something really to lock the fingers on up here for this. I see what Crow was kind of talking about with this being a little awkward and wonky. So I'm holding it way back there. Like but that gives something for him to hold on to with it. Although, you know, he should be holding it up here like this. But you've got to really, really stretch these fingers out, and you're going to wind up stretching this plastic big time to, I mean, his hand's going to have to be out like that. And I'm just not willing to warp the hand because it's going to warp the hand. So this is a nice inclusion, but it's pretty much useless. It's going to look good. You get it on him where he's toting it around. Let's try it on this side. See if we can get any better on this side. Got that grenade there. So a little better looking carrying it on that side than on the other side because of that knife sheath. But again, it's a nice inclusion. He originally had it and came with the original figure. It's just awkward and not really very functional for play. I'm sure you can mess around with it and get it posed and do a lot of pre-posing and get it to where it'll work, but I'm not a fan of it. So his chin strap on the helmet is connected. It's not like a loose separated chin strap, and he does have a comm there. It's fortunately connected. So again, it's probably going to be best to try to put the head in here and then pop the whole thing on. Usually works easier with these guys, trying to do it that way. Chin strap. They usually go on a whole lot better doing it that way. So I think I'm probably going to wind up ditching the Law, and I don't know if you can even get that thing on with the backpack. Now you may be able to put it around the backpack peg hole. Let's try that, see if that works. Maybe that's how it's intended to be carried and why you have that extra room. That looks like that may be the case, so that's a good thing then. Backpack will still stay on. I guess that's how he's meant to carry it, is sling it that way. That actually doesn't look too bad, but trying to throw it over his chest is a little awkward. So I'm guessing this is the way that they intend for him to carry this. All in all, not a bad figure. This seems to be most everybody's favorite figure in this wave is Footloose. Had a discussion about that the other night. Asked people who their favorite overall figure was in this wave, and it was pretty much unanimously Footloose. I think one person might have said someone else. Other than me, I said Blowtorch, but I didn't have Footloose open yet. For me, it's still Blowtorch. This guy's not bad. I mean, he's a good inclusion. It's going to look good with any of your OD green Joes, any of the early Joes. You can fit him in with just about anything. He's going to go in with just about any military line. But I do like that he can get a good firing pose once you mess around with it. With that M16, you can actually almost get it right onto his shoulder where it actually ought to be when he fires. So kudos for that, because you can't do it with most of them. You'd probably be able to do it with him if it weren't for the sheath overlay right there. So all right, guys, there's Footloose. Very good figure overall. There's not a whole lot to dislike with this guy. People have their gripes about how the helmet came out and the rocket, so that's going to take away with it, or from it, for me as well. But overall, good figure. I recommend picking him up. So I am going to have to give Footloose a 4 out of 5 yeehaws. He's a really good figure, but there could have been improvement there, mostly with the accessories. He nails everything that Footloose is. He's just a light infantry kind of guy, and does a good job of that concept, ticking off all the boxes. So I recommend picking him up. There's not a bad figure in this wave, and even figures that some people didn't think they were going to like, they like. So, Footloose. I appreciate you guys sticking around watching the review. Tell me what you think about the camera view. I know this one was a little weird because I'm adjusting it as we go, and that's something I'll have to work on. I do miss having all of my stuff over here, setting up comics and other figures. I've got some other figures there now, but all you can see is their feet. So let me know what you think of that. I can adjust it, play with the lighting. I know I'm going to need to play with the lighting there to make this a more enjoyable experience. That's why I picked Footloose for a test run. Anyway, 3-star draw. I appreciate it, guys. Hit that like, that subscribe, and I will see you guys on the next one. And it looks like the next one for me will probably be the Rattler whenever I get it. So thanks. See y'all later.